Palworld is huge. The monster-catching survival crafting game with guns has sold millions in mere days, and it's still in early access. The game dubbed Pokemon with Guns is really pissing off Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company who want to fiercely overprotect their copyright. A lot of the creatures in the game look very similar to Pokemon. There are lots of comparisons floating around the internet. Those associated with Pokemon are currently copyright striking modders who just want to put Pokemon into the game, which, yes, is blatant copyright infringement. But we've had lots of mods that put characters from other protected franchises into games before. My Little Ponies in Skyrim, Shrek in GTA 5, and yes, these infringe copyright too, but since it's an addition to a game and just for fun, most copyright holding companies just let it exist. Free promotion, but most companies aren't Nintendo. Nintendo has taken down fan-made games, policed YouTubers who play their games, went after every emulator ROM site they could find, relentless in their pursuit of their copyrights. It's good to make sure that your popular and creative intellectual property stays yours, but with Nintendo and Pokemon, there's a major issue. Pokemon sucks now. The video games, mostly not the card game or movies, unless those suck too, I only know about the games. There was that one movie where Pikachu speaks English for some reason, where Ash is in some fever dream. I went to a theater to see that crap. That one sucked. But the most recent games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, were so full of glitches and problems, they were uninspired, and on top of that, the graphics were held back because they had to force them onto the Switch. Even when the game did run okay, reviews ended up being mixed, and most players had an issue with the game not providing any fresh ideas or much innovation. Pokemon is a franchise which is valued over an estimated 100 billion, and the last game looked like this. Nintendo is way overprotective of its game franchise that is becoming continually worse, like a kid who tells on your mom because you touched a piece of crap he mistook for a toy. Meanwhile, Palworld is made by an independent company and looks like this. Palworld, whether you love it, hate it, are tired of hearing about it, or think it's made by a sentient AI, you can't deny its popularity. 8 million copies in 6 days. It broke all Steam records and the internet. In the game, you can use guns, arm your fellow pals with guns, make them manufacture guns, build bases, crafting. The game runs on Unreal Engine 5, so it looks gorgeous. The open world is less linear than Pokemon. You can really explore. There are faster-paced real-time battles. Yes, it's not as strategic as Pokemon with those battles, but did I mention guns? It's early access, but it's half the price of the last Pokemon game from 2 years ago, and they have a really great roadmap with tons of awesome features coming. Palworld is also a more adult game with violence and guns, and that appeals to a lot of Pokemon fans who are now adults. You know, unless they work for PETA, who recently complained about the game. Seriously, can these whack jobs get the f*** away from our video games, please? Palworld has some controversy, and it's not for everyone, but it fills a void that Nintendo refuses to fill or fails to fill fans' expectations. I like the letter F. I personally love that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company is not happy with this game, because this game represents free expression and artistic creativity in a world where it is constantly being stopped by companies like Nintendo with their outdated policies. I'm tired of Nintendo and their bullshit. Taking down fan games like AM2R after years of development, they were just waiting until someone put in a ton of work before they shut it down with a cease and desist. Removing Mario-themed games from other platforms like Dreams on the PS4, blocking speedrunners and taking down Let's Plays that fall under fair use in the States, not granting licenses to Smash Bros. Tournaments, forcing them to cancel, going on a ROM site purging Crusade but not offering support for legitimate versions of other titles, and closing the digital stores that had them, putting digital games on their store for a limited time and removing them to keep the price inflated, censoring of games, DMCAs, and a lot of anti-consumer practices there at Nintendo. The developer of Palworld is doing a service to Pokemon fans who are tired of a game series not evolving. Hey look, a pun. And they are taking action. They have the resources and ability to make a game the way they want, and players are speaking with their wallets and saying, yes, we want this too. I want both Palworld and Pokemon to exist, because we deserve choices in life. I hope that Palworld will continue to be successful, and perhaps Nintendo and all of the assorted Pokemon companies can come to an agreement. But with Nintendo's past of over-policing and unacceptance, we may have a battle ahead of us. Not with guns and monsters, but with long documents full of legalese like a bunch of cowards. This is Dan T at Twisted Banana Productions, and in my opinion, the best Pokemon game was called Jade Cocoon 2, and it came out in 2001.